rugs have to be kept in refrigerated conditions because I won't start collecting them.
It's beautiful actually, isn't it? This is the rather lovely setting of Linfield High Street. And I'm on my way on a spring summer's day to see if I can convince my Uncle Charlie to let me film him talking about carpets or rugs, as the case may be. And down here is where his old carpet shop used to be. It used to be here. I don't know what's happened to her. She used to have really nice displays. Anyway, that used to be Charlie's carpet shop, better known as David Adam. Linfield Galleries, Oriental rugs and carpets, and it's now there, look. Now, the question is, am I going to be able to convince Uncle Charlie to let me interview him? I got him already, look. Marvellous.
It's alright, we like to guess who the host is from before we open it.
You don't need to have other writing. I suppose most
Usually I do, but yeah.
most of them aren't
This
handwritten
one-
anymore, are they?
It is, Mike. Yes, it must be. What's the B then?
Oh, isn't it? Good afternoon, Linfield Galleries. Yeah, fine, thank you. Oh, I'm sorry he isn't in today. Can I help with the message? Thanks. Bye. Bye. Couldn't understand a word he said.
How do you know when to say he's not in and when to say he's in?
Anything that I think stupid, then he's not in.
How are you?
Just about.
Oh dear, you look fine.
Looks can be.
I was going to say, he's going to say, looks can be deceiving.
We'll choose. These are ridiculous.
How long have you had those ones then?
Oh, yeah, I suppose.
What about the other ones? They were about 60 years old, weren't they?
Oh, God, yes, they were old as the hell. See, the Americans are more correct in a way. Everything that is not fitted to the room. So you can have a 50-foot carpet, which they call a rug. We call a carpet. They call a rug.
Okay.
You can lay it down, and it's a rug. Now, where they call a carpet, so you have fitted carpet in your house.
Yes,
They
yes.
call that a carpet.
A carpet.
And anything loose thrown down on the floor is a rug. So it doesn't matter how big it is. A carpet is from anything about 10 by 6 feet up is a carpet. Anything
Okay.
below that is a rug.
Okay, I didn't know that.
But there's no specific
Yeah, of course, yeah.
change over point. So someone comes in and asks for a carpet, you know they don't want a small one, a small piece of thing. You either have a big rug or a small rug. It doesn't matter if it's 50 feet long, the rug, but it's... So they don't have... You can't have a Persian rug, Persian carpet in their eyes.
Okay.
Because it's not fitted, is it?
Who are you?
Oh, but I'm a carpet dealer. Yeah, we're a carpet dealer. So that's why they all normally call themselves rug dealers. But of course it does cross over.
Yeah.
This used to be a garage originally, a petrol pump outside. Remember that?
I don't think I do remember that.
That was before the war.
No, well.
We had trouble because that's where the underground petrol tank was,
Oh, okay.
just there. Then he went out through the basement And it was one of these pumps, you turn the handle, pump it up.
Bloody hell.
Not an electric, you had to go like this. And a big arm swung out like that over the pavement so they could fill a car at the curb where people walk.
Oh my God. What's that one you've got at the house that you had the extension built for?
Herries.
But is the pattern that different?
Well, it is when you know it. Yeah, the Herries is more angular in design. This is more, but they're similar.
Estimate.
The estimate for the carpet would be 100 to 120 euro.
I don't understand.
So I put an estimate on lots.
Right.
And all they did, you only got a little bit of it, picture. It didn't even tell you the size. No size.
And the carpet cost is 120 euros.
So that's what they estimated it would fetch in the auction. What's so funny about
No, I'm trying to work out. So not the cost that they charge you for sending you a little picture.
There's a holding an auction.
Right.
So like here.
Yes.
Everything has an estimate of what
Yes.
they think
The
it's going to
estimate,
fetch.
the auctioneer estimates what it will fetch.
Yes.
Quite often they have
But they didn't bother to take apart. There's furniture on it. All they did is took a snap.
And it's the carpet that you looked at and you were quite interested in.
Yes.
Not one of yours.
No.
Oh right.
So we think because in Dublin you don't know what the condition. There
No.
might not be any more there. There might be. Yeah.
Oh my God! You buy it and you think you're buying a close-up, but actually you've bought the actual carpet. Oh dear.
Looked all round the auction, all the pictures of other
every
things.
lot.
Trying to see it in the background.
Yeah.
Because it was on the floor. So when they were photographing a little table, you saw a bit of the carpet.
So we
Then
pieced them
you
together.
look how far
Oh my
is
God,
that
really?
table away from that table to try to find out how big.
We went through about 160 lots or something.
Oh my God.
So we thought, well, it must be more than 12 feet by 9.
We were trying to work out the size of the chair.
And the chair sits on, you can see a chair sitting on a bit of the border. You know the chairs, you have to measure the chair legs and see how far it was. It was an old old turkey carpet, a nice colour, pale blue, with a nice border, quite type of carpet.
What sort of year?
Like end of the last century. No.
One before.
One before. And the nice type of carpet. It's not fine, but it's what sells. And I bid up to £2,000.
2,000 euro.
2,000 euro. And didn't buy it. Went for 2,200 euro.
How often do you think when you're bidding like that and it stops, someone that's connected with the carpet?
It's a gamble. Sometimes you get the carpet, it's just useless. Well, we put that one to the dump.
Oh no.
It cost how much did it cost?
No, it's 1,500 or 1,600 wasn't it cost?
And we shoveled it in, literally shoveled it in the
It
car.
was falling to pieces.
Oh.
The knots, we
Rotten.
trail of knots.
So we pushed out and we took it to the Burgess Hill dump.
They charge you there.
I know. I had to get two blokes to help me lift it out.
And therefore, in the back of your mind, the carpet you're looking at, you're only looking at the bit. And you think, well, what's the middle like? It might all be worn out, it might be rotten.
I'm surprised you bother if you can't see it, if you don't go.
Oh, but you know, it's a chance.
They're rolled up. I mean, look at all of these all rolled up. What happens if you open them and they've got some moth in them?
Well, you keep opening them to see if they have. We opened them all the other month or so ago, every one. That's why you retire.
Well, that's no good, is it? Unless you've got all of you, unless you've sold them all. Actually, you haven't got that many, have you?
No, they're going. They're disappearing slowly.
Oh. And I remember you saying that there's a problem with some of them because of the size. People haven't got the room size anymore. Like they
Oh,
haven't.
but it's like these runners, the corridors. People have got little narrow corridors. Now, if you get one under 3 foot wide, long one, it sells much better than one, much better one that's wider, because it just doesn't fit the houses. Always if you get a narrow runner, it sells immediately.
Doesn't matter.
And they didn't get the way in the big old houses. They'd go in a corridor, a little house now, people tramp up and down them and they're worn out in no time. Well, they can look beautiful. People that have been brought up with them never want to be without them. People that haven't been brought up with them, they don't understand. They'll go to IKEA or something.
Is that guy in Newhaven still going?
Hmm?
The guy that I took my carpet to, the cleaner.
Ramsay.
Oh, Ramazan. He's still going. He's still going. He had a shop in Brighton, but he never cleaned rugs then.
Oh, okay. He's got quite a good setup, hasn't he, now?
He has. He got the hang of it. When he started, he didn't, did he?
No, you didn't.
Terrible. They have long, like sausage tubes, metal tubes, big, this round. And you can, after you wash the carpet, you can roll the carpet out wet and poke it in the tube. It's like a spin dryer.
Yeah.
So then you clamp it all up and off it goes in, and the water comes out. Well, you get a posh customer's carpet, cleaned it, put it in there.
Shredded it.
No, he couldn't get it out. Because he put it in too tight, and then he couldn't get it out. No way he could get it out. And oh, panic. He had to phone Turkey to how to take the machine to pieces. Because when it came out,
Oh my
it was
God.
wet, colour run, and it was in stripes. So when you opened it out, there were these stripes.
How many rug collectors would you say there are in the UK? Serious?
Oh gosh, there's plenty. Well, they buy little fragments of rugs. It's a rare one.
I mean, they must be worth a lot of money.
But then you've got to go 16th century. Go right back. There's fragments of those old carpets that fetch very big money.
So that's 700 years
But people
old.
get confused with money. You see, it's money. It's a part of you. You want them. You can't live with that. If you've lived with nice rugs and someone came and took them away, you'd think, oh, this is awful. But younger people, they've never seen them, and you put them on the floor, but don't like that. It doesn't matter how good the rug is. Don't want it. They'd rather have wooden floor. I want to put a rug there to protect the wooden floor.
Oh. Is that what people say?
They want to
Protect the
put a rug
fitted.
down to protect the wood.
Oh no.
Yeah.
How insulting.
Why no? Terrible.
When you see them as artworks,
Well, yeah, but they don't look at it that way. They don't look at it that way. If you're artistic or something, you might, but most people don't. And they look at a magazine and they see the colours and ideal home, all that. That's what we want. That look.
are there any sort of PhDs in rugs?
Nothing. Well, they don't want to. They don't want to know.
How do you know though if you don't want to know before?
I mean, you've lived with rugs. You've had rugs on the floor, but a lot of people haven't.
I know. I consider it a privilege. And if I go somewhere where there's an apartment with a big wooden floor and no rug, I think this is strange. Where's the rug?
So there you are.
But I've never lived with what are they called? Tapestries. Because they're something else again, aren't they?
Lack of education.
I mean, they're quite something, aren't they? I think of you when I see a tapestry.
Well, I've lived with one for a long time, but
I mean, they're something else, aren't they?
they are. Well, originally they were made for going on in castles and drafty old places to keep the draft out, and also cover a big stone wall. I mean, made in a similar way to Keeling or.
They look really strange up close, don't they?
Made in Germany, France, Belgium, Brussels. It was mostly Huguenot weavers that came over.
I love the trees, the way they do the trees. But who buys those? Who buys these?
Nobody. That's why it's there. I sold that. How many years ago? He had 10 or 12 in his house. But he wouldn't live without tapestries. But there you are, when he died, they come back on the market. People don't buy them. I mean, ones from 1.5 million or 2 million, they buy. Museums and things, but most people don't buy them.
Are there any left? Like, how many are left?
Oh, there's plenty left.
Really?
Mostly with dealers, I can't. Typical French. It's been bigger, that carpet. It's been a landscape. Because those big old chateaus wanted something on the wall. Well, you can see that should be higher. The trees went on up, and then you've got the sky. But you see, you get something 10, 12 feet high, you've got to have a very tall room to hang them in.
I wouldn't know that should have been higher or taller. Like, oh, so it's supposed to be like that one? No?
Well, even that was taller, I expect. Yes, they're usually more like that. You see the tops of the trees. Not always, of course, but you can see those trees are cut off.
I don't know that I can.
Well, this middle tree used to sort of go on up, and it had probably had a bit more on the bottom too.
Wow.
And some people even cut them in half or three and make three, don't they? Well, you see, if you can sell it easier. It comes to, if you got it, how do you sell it?
People do that with woodland, don't they?
Yeah.
Like, buy a piece of woodland and divide it up into 10.
As long as you make, this is, you might have had a couple more tapestries like this out of the same one.
Well, I mean, you can end up with just a bird, can't you?
Yes, you can. You come down to a bird.
Was he or
No, he was made like that.
How do you know?
Well, you know. He was made like that, and behind there, there's Madam. He's sitting under that tree with his, where's his pint? His pint of beer. She's sitting, you can't see her, but she's behind there. She's sitting holding the flagon.
Oh, sweet. And so they're made as a pair?
Yeah, made as a pair.
I feel a bit more educated. I feel a bit more educated. What's this one? Because I think I've got one like that, but smaller.
Yeah, it's the run of the mill. They used to churn them out. That colour is traditional colour. But then, oh, haven't you got one of those in pale blue? And no. It's too wide for a small house, the corridor.
Oh.
That's the trouble. Then we're now cutting the borders off.
There's not much green, is there?
No, not much green. And it's the expense. A lot of the expense in the people that make them, they have the wool, they have to have it washed, and then they have to give it to the dyer. to dye. Now that's quite expensive to have this, and certain colours. And green was always one of the hardest colours.
Oh, what, to dye?
And more, and it corrodes too. What they used to use in the dye. So green. Now, of course, everyone wants green. Now you can make a green carpet. It's simple, because you use modern dyes. But it'll never look like an old one.
So how old's this?
Yeah, that's 100 years old.
Okay, so it's not very old.
Well, a little bit old. It's good. It's good colour.
It's beautiful, actually, isn't it? I want people to love them. I'd like more people to understand their beauty.
People just living a life, a different sort of life. They want something in their house they like the look of. They open a magazine, see a picture of a modern key limb or something, all that will do. Not the cover can protect the floor, and that's it. Look at the superwash Chinese, which were those big, thick, heavy.
Yeah.
See, they were expensive once, but now they don't make them anymore. Can't sell them. Too heavy, and there's too many of them.
So then,
Might as well have a machine-made carpet. Why have a handmade carpet when it's like that?
We had one from Ireland, didn't we?
Yeah,
And he took
he
it
was
to the
good.
post office. He was brilliant. He was
We bought a rug, and it cost
70 quid, wasn't it? No, it's less than that.
cost less. Baby, we only saw a picture of that, and I think I bought it. It looked nice. Anyway, I asked the chap, and he said he'd send it. I thought, well, thank God for that. And he's a good chap, yes. So he said, I phoned, I thought, he's not coming. I phoned, the girl said, he knows exactly what he's doing. He's gone down to the post office now. Sure enough. And he won't send it if he thinks it's too expensive.
oh, what, you mean the post?
Yeah, because we paid for the rug, but not the post.
The rug only cost 42 quid.
Oh my God.
And the postage was 18 on top.
And how much is that once it's got to here?
That was it.
No, I mean, how much is it worth to you? What's
Well,
it worth to you?
it to another dealer
For $500.
for 800.
And he's, yeah, okay, so...
Yeah, it is. It's a good type of. The end border had been rewoven. You have to have it redone. You'd probably have to spend quite a bit on it, and then you got a very nice rug. I haven't got time to spend money. I mean, he bought a rug in Petersfield, an Argra. And he said, "Are you going to be with me?" I said, "No." I said, "I reckon it might cost 20,000. And who bought? They'd cut the side border off completely. Biggish carpet. They sliced the side border because it was too wide for the room.
Oh, God.
Because when you do that, you lose a bit of the carpet.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you try to sew it back together,
Oh, so you had the other piece?
the other piece, you can't sew it back together because you can, but there's that much of the design and everything missing. So what he did, he sent it to Turkey and had two pieces woven together. So they put the string and they wove that bit. So it's exactly. But it's got to come out exactly right. And that cost him over 20,000 just to sew it back together with that bit in it. But it has to be right. Otherwise, you won't get any good price for it.
But aren't there some carpets that are simply just not around?
Oh, if you go far enough back, yes. But the answer was an Argra. It was a nice Argra.
Would you say you could spot almost any... How are your eyes these days?
Well, they're still there.
Would you be able to spot any repair, would you say?
I can't always, but most normal people can. Because they can tell by the colour. Sometimes the colour fools
You
me.
can see on the back.
Oh!
You can see, and also you can sometimes feel it as well.
Yes, you can. It's very difficult to get the same texture wool. I mean, they take old rugs to pieces to mend old rugs with the old wool. They do fantastic
sit on
repairs, but expensive business.
What have you got? Have you got anything here that's got a really good repair?
I've got one with a really bad repair.
Have you?
Well, that Herreys with that
I know.
that border, that was terrible.
I've got a rug. I have a rug here. That Isfahan. You remember this one? We sent to Iran to be done. It was done in Iran. Came back. It belonged to Kleinwalks. I'm going back 40 years, and they had a fire, and the big log rolled out the fire onto the rug. And of course, the rug doesn't burn. It sort of, in the corner, the log went through the rug, so the whole corner's now disappeared.
Right.
Went through the floor, burnt a hole through the floor, and fell onto the ground underneath, because there's a gap.
Oh, like a wooden floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they rested it all. And of course, we had to replace the rug and get rid of that.
Okay.
It's all black.
Yeah.
But
It's a
when I
big
cleaned
area.
it, then I sent the around to be done, the corner, and it came back. And I can show it to dealer, any dealer that comes in, I can show the rug. And they won't know it's been repaired.
Really? Have you still got that rug?
Yeah. They won't know it. You can, if you're told it's there, and they show you, then you know, oh yes, of course I can see that, I can see that.
I think it is. It is definitely.
Is this one?
Oh, how exciting. Is that funny? I imagined it to be blue. Which corner?
I forget which corner it was. Was it the top corner? You sure?
Well, that's a sign of a good repair, isn't it?
I don't know if it was.
I think it may have been there.
Can you see the corner?
Oh, I can see that. Yeah, I can just there. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Wow.
all this part, all this here is new.
And
That's the old.
crikey, so we're there. Wow.
You may be able to feel it. I think it comes down to here somewhere. But where's the cross? Where you see, you'd never know, because if the weaving
is often a bit wonky anyway. But there, when you've got your eye in, you can see it. But
Crikey. There. This thing.
yeah, that's it.
So what does it look like from the front then? What is it? What carpet is it?
Isfahan.
And why do you like it so much?
What? I don't know.
It is beautiful actually, isn't it?
It's a good rug, but I mean, it was worthless really before it was repaired.
I'm sure.
Because this sort of rug, it has to be well repaired to make any sense.
Why have you got it 40 years later?
I've got rugs longer than that.
Really?
Yeah. I want to sell them.
The area, is that?
It's made in Isfahan.
Oh. Are they all according to where they're made?
Yeah, basically the names of the you could have a Linfield rug or a Havers Heath rug.
So a Keelim is from Keelim?
Keelim, no. Keelim is the type of weave. That black woven piece on the end
Oh, okay.
is the Keelim on the rug. This is the whole thing is a Keelim.
Is Keelim like Iranian for
Probably is Iranian.
Flat weave.
I honestly don't know.
The Turks call them.
Yeah, have a sumac. Yeah, that is a new one, but that is sumac. That's flat woven. It's no pile, but it's made in a different way, and it's much stronger.
It doesn't come apart. Key limbs
No,
pull
key limb,
apart.
where they change colour with a key limb, the wool goes back again with another colour, and therefore there's a slit. That's why you never get a straight line. If they change from that colour to that colour in a straight line, this would be separate from that. What's holding this together? That bit goes in. See what I mean? And it's joined. Otherwise it will come apart. Here, change colour straight. There's a, see?
Yeah,
So there's nothing to hold this to that.
yeah.
That's why this will never find a straight line, because otherwise it wouldn't be attached.
And is that why they do that patterning like that? Because they know that's...
Yes, they use the design. You see, all this, where they go on a slant, is a gap everywhere. It's only held to where they join across.
Okay.
Otherwise it will all fall to pieces. That's sumac.
Oh, that's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, that's nice sumac.
Wow.
But that's different. That's actually interwoven altogether.
It looks
Much
like,
stronger.
that looks like knitting to me.
I know what you mean. It isn't.
It's not... I don't understand.
They all start off with warps. So you have a whole line of threads.
Right.
They're all like that. But the knots hold the warps together, and then they have a weft thread that goes through. They all start off like
Oh,
this.
okay.
All start. This is on the loom. You're left with a loom on these, and you weave on that. So the knots are holding this together, but there is, each row of knots has a weft thread or 2 or 3 weft threads in time.
Well,
You see, that's where this was the sample we had on the loom being woven. That's why it's like that. We were just showing how it was woven.
wow.
Warps, wefts. So that is what this is for, to separate it, because you've got to pass the weft thread through here. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like any weaving really, like weaving a fabric.
And then, well, what makes the knot? So you've got these like this, you've got a line going across,
And
and
then this young lady here, she's got her wool up here, and then she cuts a piece, and it's the knots are tied on 2 strings.
oh my
Actually, you
goodness.
can't actually see the knots, can you? The wool sticks out, and the same colour. They keep going back, and all they do is shear it with a pair of curved scissors. Some of the more primitive rugs fetch them more money.
And that's a taste, a fashion thing, or
That is purely fashion, yes. And some are made. And, look, this is.
no,
Can you count the knots in that?
no. Oh my goodness.
You look at the
me.
back. See that each one's still got the same rows, and they're woven on these, which are very fine.
Oh,
You have
it's
to look.
beautiful, isn't it? Is this silk? No.
No, it's wool.
Wow.
Wool.
Oh, it's gorgeous. And if what's the name of
But
that
you
one?
see, this is very fine, but it's not necessarily expensive. Now, to make, it is very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
But people don't want that now.
What's that called? This rug?
That comes from Kashmir.
And do all the rugs from Kashmir have very many knots?
No, most of them are rubbish. I mean, that's not a good investment rug, but they'll never be better. They can make it, but you think of how small you've got to have fingers to do that. Impossible.
And then something much more primitive might
We
be.
just had a chap in from Pakistan, And he opened this. I saw him undo it and do it up. Because out there they'll charge an awful lot, but you can imagine why. So it's like silk.
But it's, yeah. The light.
That is a copy of the Ardebil carpet in the V&A. But
Oh,
the
like-
Ardebil carpet is in miniature. They make that carpet. And they even weave in inscriptions and everything. But it's a big carpet squashed down into a.
Yeah, okay. Like those mouse pads.
Yeah, it is. It is the same thing. The same thing. But that's all hand woven.
I feel like I should be
It's an old
helping you.
version. Nothing like as fine as that, but a very nice one.
I love the way you knot them. The pattern's much more striking when it's
Yes.
not so finely.
Much more character than it. I mean, the Ardebil carpet, you see it in the V&A, is beautiful, but
Yeah, but it's the scale.
yeah.
Wow. And you just said that's Persian.
That's Persian, Bijar.
And then you go Persian and then Bijar, as in the location. What does something like that cost?
5,000.
Really? And why is that?
Well, because it's beautiful, and look, which would you rather have?
Yeah.
That's much finer.
Yeah, no, this one. This one.
And then you can't find them.
So it's
No,
rarity.
you can- not in that condition. I mean, they do turn up, but
Style, rarity, condition.
yeah. And also it's fashion. Colour plays a big part. If that was a yellow ground, or even an ivory ground, it'd be worth more money.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say less.
No. Yellow would be more.
Always.
At the moment, that's what people, or pale blue. They love pale blue. Therefore, that's what happens. Then all the price goes on to the fashionable one. I used to buy what sold. So if something sold that I didn't particularly like, I'd still buy it because that's what sells.
Yeah.
But I was talking to that chap just gone, and he says the same thing. They used to buy, well, they had a shop in Piccadilly, and he used to buy Picaros and just sell them. Didn't particularly like them, but that's what was making the money. Mm-hmm. But to collectors, it's completely different. They're looking for
Their personal taste and an acquired
Yes.
taste. Is there?
and they know it's not easy to find. They know it's a rarity, and you have the best of anything, it'll fetch the money.
Amazing.
Fashion, same as dresses. It's just fashion. Well, oh, that's in fashion. The price goes up. It's out of fashion. You can buy it for nothing. It's a supply and demand. What people want, the price goes up.
Because you don't want to sell it.
Dealers would have bought it ages ago.
Really?
But I keep, every time, if the price goes up a bit, so does my price go up. Normally I wouldn't, because I don't particularly want to sell it. Well, I don't know. They'll have to be sold, I suppose. But don't forget, I bought some of these rugs when I joined Perry's. That was in 1955, 54. So I was buying some rugs into the late 50s and 60s, which I liked. I was working for him. Can I buy that one? He said yes. You could pay £1 a week until you paid it. So, and I've still got them, and they've gone up, 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 up. So I always said then, I'm not going to pay for a pension. I'm just going to buy rugs.
Yeah.
And because they go up, my thing, and all of a sudden they go down. And now rugs we were selling 10 years ago, I think not Gashan or something, for £1,000, £1,200. You're lucky now to get 400. People don't want them.
It's a design, isn't it?
People don't want them. They want something they can put on the floor. And if they're like a year or two, I'll get rid of that, something else. That's the trouble. They don't want. It's like antique, same as furniture. You would get a lovely set of mahogany chairs. Can't get anything for them. Dealers are buying them to distress them and paint them white and make them shabby white. And they can sell them. Otherwise, you can't sell them. It's ridiculous.
But one day that'll come back into fashion,
Must
and
do.
then people will strip them again.
Must do. But like Habitat and IKEA and things, they buy things, make things people want, and they buy them, and they don't care. But they'll pay more for a bit of cheap Habitat furniture or IKEA. Right, they'll think, oh, I've only paid £300 for this little desk. You can go into the auction and buy a mahogany one for £80. Well, it's fashion. Young people go, well, he showed me a pair of shoes yesterday. He had on. I said, well, they're not very nice, are they? Ugly looking things, these trainers type things. And they cost 150 quid. Then I saw another pair and he said, they were cheap, they were only £80. Well, I said, I've got 2 sacks of shoes upstairs you can have. I've never worn some of them.
Have you ever thrown anything away?
No.
Apart from that carpet you bought?
I bought, because when I used to go to Portugal in the early days, the shoes were, you could buy nice shoes, but they were much cheaper than here. But I always bought them, I thought they were fitted. But when in this country, they don't fit. People buy machine-made copies. You've no idea how much he paid. Went to Turkey. That looked like silk. Rayon, mercerized cotton. It looked like silk, worth nothing. Worth nothing. And he paid, and what I think he died. But he must have done. He nearly did in the shop. And he bought one to try to sell to me. This is the one he bought. And he paid a lot of money for. And he went out with his wife, and he's never come back for his rug. It's not worth coming back for.
Huh? Oh dear.
But this is machine made. Worthless. So much so, he went, never seen him since. Same. It looks like they've got a warp thread, and but it's made the wrong way. These fringes are nothing to do with anything. They're put in afterwards.
Huh?
You can see that. See what I mean? They're not woven on this. These are just put in lumps.
Oh wow.
But that's why some people will never buy a rug, because they never quite believe if it's handmade or not. If you unhitch that, this lot would come out. Well, it will, look. See? You can see it's all stuck in. You can take the fringe out.
That doesn't take much though, does it, to learn to see that?
No. But it is, people think they're getting a bargain. The only reason he bought the rugs, because in his head he was spending £7,000 and they were worth a great deal more, and he was going to turn it back into money, and he brought it to me to sell. He said, "This is a sample. How much would you give me?" Well, I said, "I won't give you anything." Then he started.
Oh no!
Yeah. He bought 7. He'd been on holiday in Turkey. He bought a rug, and he was taken to one of these big stores they take you to, and he bought a genuine handmade rug. He comes back here to Brighton. So he's sitting there peacefully, quite happy with his rug and everything. Someone calls on him, and they said they're from Turkey. And they'd come over specially with a selection of rugs for a bar in London. And the bar in London, I don't know what went wrong, they couldn't get the money or something, but they were very valuable, and they were taking them back to Turkey. But it didn't want all the trouble of taking them back and that. They could sell them to him half price. So he said, oh, good. So he went to, and they said, well, you have to pay now. They sat there while he went to the bank to get the money, paid them in cash, and off they went. So now he thinks he's got a bargain, and he brings them here. That's how stupid people are. And he doesn't even come back for it.
Oh no!
He didn't want it, he wanted to sell it.
But compared with that, it's so different, isn't it?
Look at the back of it. If you look at the back of rugs, you'll see the same design. That doesn't come through, does it? Hardly. Look at the back of that one.
Oh.
You'll see the colour properly, because you're looking at the wool. But it's not. It's completely different.
Yeah, it is. But it's good. Yeah, and it's amazingly different, isn't it?
Yeah, it's completely different.
And
There's no knot in this. There's no knot in this. This pile isn't knotted in. It's looped in. But if you pull this, these will just come out. It's rubbish. Absolute rubbish. So I don't do these two. Just have a look. You never know. Well, this is where you got to. It says here. A rug. That's one thing.
A blue rug.
A Persian rug, blue ground. A Persian rug, madder ground. No sizes on any of them. 2 silk carpet samples. Persian rug.
and no photos.
No. That's your lot. You go there 10 times, there's nothing but
The time you miss is when there's...
the time you don't go, you find someone's been there and got a lovely rug. We didn't get much from Dublin, I must admit, but once you can spot it, then
That's enough.
if the auction isn't on the internet, they're definitely losing out. And of course it's so unfair really, because they put all the expense, most of it, on the buyer, not the seller. So if you employ the auctioneer to sell your goods, you pay 10-15%. When I go to buy it, they charge me 30% on top. So when I was bidding 2,000 in Dublin, it'll land up to me at sort of, well, what's that on top?
2.5 it was.
Yeah, it's about 2,500.
Bloody hell. It's a lot more, isn't
The auctioneer
it?
gets 500 when he expected to sell the piece for 100.
Yeah.
His commission on it is 500. No, they charge a lot. They must make from the seller and the buyer at least 40% all the time. Anything they sell, they make 40%.
Yeah. It's a lot, isn't it?
A lot of money. Hell of a lot of money. And then when you buy it, you can't sell it. This blue van park's here now.
Yeah, these ones.
What are you doing?
I'm still filming you. Well, good luck.
Yeah, probably. I might see something. Sometimes I'm lucky. It's like fishing, you know. You just sometimes. All right, nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.